Hello there, my name is Thomas O'Regan, and if this is for people that have a large property portfolio already. Now, I just wanted to give you guys some insight into something that I found when I was growing my property portfolio that I didn't expect before. Actually, I'll give you two. So, when I started building a property portfolio, I didn't take into consideration the effect of rents going up as time goes on. Now, that that effect was pretty substantial when me and my wife we got to the point where we had six or seven investment properties, and all the rents went up, and the property portfolio went from neutral cash flow to highly positive cash flow. The rents in the areas we own properties had a substantial jump, and they all increased by a factor of almost 100%. So that was pretty cool. We owned the properties for about 3 years, and then the rents just over that time they almost doubled. So a property portfolio, sorry, went from neutral cash flow to highly positive, which was super exciting. And we were buying properties at that time for capital growth, and we weren't considering cash flow growth, if you will. Now that was very exciting. It did a few things. It allowed us to help service more debt, and it gave us a buffer, so we didn't have to put any money of our own into the investment portfolio. Another point I wanted to make that is most people don't consider. Now, if you're able, and I highly recommend investing in a high interest rate environment if you have the capacity. Why? Because if you invest, I'll hit this from a few angles. If you invest in a high interest rate environment, when the interest rates go down, there is a high likelihood, because of affordability, that the property prices you're buying at are going to go up a lot. And every type of property is different, every market's different, just that disclaimer. But broadly and generally, when interest rates go down, property prices go up because the property prices are pushed up by affordability, and the affordability is effectively the interest rate that you're paying at the bank level. If you can get more debt for the same amount of interest, people will do that. Okay, so push property prices up. But aside from that, that's a third benefit. I didn't know I was going to talk about that when I started this video, but the real benefit I wanted to talk about, if you're buying investment properties and growing an investment portfolio, is if you are buying or building an investment portfolio in a high interest rate environment like it is now. Interest rates at the bank level are around 7%. So what will happen if the interest rates go down by 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%? Depends. If you have $1 million worth of debt and the interest rates go down by 1%, you are going to, have a lot more cash flow than you would otherwise. So basically, for me and my wife in our investment portfolios, when we were growing our investment portfolios, we didn't anticipate the benefit that we would get from when interest rates went from high to low and they went down. Our cash flow increased massively. It allowed us to borrow more properties, and we are always scaling our properties. But if we didn't acquire more properties and debt, our cash flow position would be extremely strong. And that is something that you can, if you like, factor in to your investment strategy. And just know, if it happens, very good, and if it doesn't, whatever. But the point is, if you are hanging on by the skin of your teeth or whatever, or you think it's hard now, and you're not foreseeing any benefits happening, just know there's those 3 benefits out there that you should consider. See you guys next time. Bye.